Hey, what's going on, guys? I am going to continue reading. My phone got cut off because of an alarm, but I am really enjoying this and I want it to go smoother and smoother, so let's keep practicing a little more. Chapter 4, Breaking the Barriers of the Past. Every 4 years, the world's attention turns to the Summer Olympic Games. For a few days, men and women from around the globe gather to compete against the best. Watching the Summer Games nowadays, it is almost difficult to remember that only a few decades ago, track and field experts pompously declared that no runner could break the 4-minute mile barrier. Ostensibly, a human being couldn't run that far, that fast, for that length of time. Experts conducted all sorts of profound studies to show it was impossible to beat the 4-minute barrier. And for years, they were right. Nobody ever ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. But one day a young man came along who didn't believe the expert's opinion. He didn't dwell on the impossibilities. He refused to let all those negative words form a stronghold in his mind. He began to train, believing he was going to break that record. Sure enough, he went out one day and broke the 4-minute mile barrier. He did what the experts said couldn't be done. His name was Roger Bannister, and he made sports history. Now, here's what I find so interesting about the Roger Bannister story. Within 10 years after Roger Bannister broke the record, 336 other runners had broken the 4-minute mile record as well. Think about that. For hundreds of years, as far back as statisticians kept track and field records, nobody ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. Then, within a decade, more than 300 people from various geographic locations were able to do it. What happened? Simple. The barrier to running a 4-minute mile was in the athlete's mind. For all those years, runners believed what the experts were saying. They were convinced that it was impossible to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. The battle is in your mind. Here's the key point. You will never go beyond the barriers in your own mind. If you think you can't do something, then you never will. The battle is in your mind. If you are defeated in your mind, you've already lost the battle. If you don't think your dreams will ever come to pass, they never will. If you don't think you have what it takes to rise up and set that new standard, it's not going to happen. The barrier is in your mind. And that's what the scriptures calls a stronghold. It's a wrong thinking pattern that keeps us imprisoned in defeat. And that's why it is so important that we think positive thoughts of hope, faith, and victory. Perhaps somebody has spoken negative words into your life. Maybe some so-called experts have told you that you're never going to be successful. You're never going to rise to the top. You just don't have what it takes to make it. Don't listen to those lies. If God is for you, who dares to be against you? Break through those limitations of the past and let your mind dwell on fresh, positive attitudes of faith. Breaking those barriers will change your life and the lives of your children. Today, it's common for professional runners to break the 4-minute mile barrier. It's no big deal. Roger Bannister set a new standard. He cleared the path. And similarly, if you'll break through the barriers in your mind and start stepping out in faith, you will go beyond those old barriers. And the same thing will happen in your family, your children, your grandchildren, and future generations will continue to race past those barriers. They will continue to go further than people ever once thought was possible. And it will be because you were willing to step out in faith, setting a new standard, paving the way for future generations. If you fail to break through those barriers of the past, you run the risk of spinning your wheels, going around in circles. For instance, when God led the Hebrew people out of Egypt, where they had lived in slavery for 400 years, they headed straight toward the Promised Land. It was an 11-day journey, but it took them 40 years to get there. Why? Why would they wander around in the wilderness, going around the same mountain time after time, not making any progress? After all, God had prepared the land flowing with milk and honey. It was a place of great abundance, a place of great freedom. But God's people had been beaten down by their oppressors for so long, mistreated, used, and taken advantage of. Now, even though God wanted to do a new thing, they couldn't conceive it. They couldn't make room for it in their own thinking. Instead of moving forward with an attitude of faith and expecting good things, they insisted on going around with a poor, defeated mentality. Around and around they went, so focusing on their problems, always complaining, fretting about the obstacles standing between them and their destiny. God finally jolted them out of their complacency. He said to them, "You have dwelt long enough on this mountain." I believe God is saying something similar to us. You've been wallowing where you are long enough. It's time to move on, to let go of past hurts, pains, or failures. It's time to believe for bigger things. It's time for increase. It's time for promotion. It's time for supernatural favor. But if that's going to happen, you can't keep going in circles doing the same thing the same way year after year. The third key to developing a fresh vision for your life is breaking the barriers of the past. All right. That is my morning reading practice. I will watch it back later for my personal improvement. Bye now.